Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Wednesday, May 19th. These are the charts of the day. Well, another sloppy day on Wall Street, and support barely held before they rallied late in the day. But and you can see that in a lot of the oil and gold stocks in particular. But I'm not so sure that today's lows aren't key to whether or not we see higher levels or not. In front of you, you have ABX, and this is a typical example of some of the gold stocks. And you can see how the breakout, and the big run-up it had from the 7.5 range all the way up to over 20. With the recent high being almost 20, 19.75, 1973. And then the pullback today, minor triple bottom near the trend line. I would have to say what I'm requesting everybody is to be cognizant of today's lows because, for example, 17.05 on ABX, I know it closed at 18.15, but below that could trigger a much deeper sell-off in a lot of these golds and oils. So keep aware and put your hard stops underneath today's lows. On ABX, AG is another. The stock's gone from 2 and change to 12 and change. The pullback got to the 21-day moving average and the rising trend line right there. So I would have to say, won't be happy with the stock underneath today's low of 10.32. Some of the other stocks in that group include, obviously, JNUG, which had a hard drop down to the support zone and trend line. Right about the, what's today's low? Let's see, at 117. It rallied 22 points to close it. Actually, it was more than that. It rallied 25 points, but it closed at 139 up 444 after being down dramatically. So today's low is my hard stop. 115, 117 zone of support. Perhaps on the 115 would be a good place to stop it out. If it rallies back, watch for resistance at 185.88. Same thing on Nugget. Got all the way down to 76, jumped to 90, closed 88.88. Up 421, 5%, but you can see that the low on the trend line would be, for me, a place of a stopping point under, say, 76. And the rally and resistance would be up in the zone up around 115.20. In addition, silver Wheaton, same thing. All these stocks very similar in terms of their patterns. A big wedge is forming, triple bottom, right on the trend line, right on the 50-day moving average here. And so I want a hard stop under 17.90.18. And your target's 21 and then 24 if we get one more leg up. It's possible we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to see one more blow to the upside, particularly if we get a wipe in the market and money goes into some of the defensive stock or natural resource stocks. Speaking of that, let's take a quick look at some of the oil stocks that we've been favoring of late. Starting with ETE, I love the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a beautiful bull coil. Today it jumped 38 cents or 3%, nothing spectacular. Volume went up to 11.6 million and OBV's holding up. So if oil does get through 50 and we see one last spurt on these, this could very well be an $18 stock, but at this point it's going to have to take out the 13.75, 14 zone before it does that. Just be careful on all these energy related stocks as well. Range resources, right down to support at the 50, bounce and pull back. Need to see this one hold, and my hard stop is under 37. Your target's 44, 45, and beyond if it goes. And TRGP, yet another. Pull back down. This one's holding up better than the others, and it's had a phenomenal move from 15 to 45, tripling. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave may yet have more to go. I would not be shocked to see 48 to 52, but be aware of today's low as a potential stopping point, somewhere under the 40, 40 and a half range. And UWTI, the ETF for energy shares, and it's a triple ETF. You can see the breakout of the major declining tops line, but a move up to resistance at the big gap which it filled and then pulled back from. So underneath today's low would be problematic for me on the 32.60.65. And your target, if you should get above yesterday's high of 37.70, would be upwards in the 43.44 zone. Now, a few other stocks that I'm interested in. One of my fundamental guys did heavy research on this company, and they're opening up a new plant. What they do is they recycle the lead out of lead batteries and zinc and stuff like that. You can see that it's already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth wave, which may get right here short term to about 12, 12 and a quarter. Keep an eye on this in the next day or two for maybe a scalp trade, particularly tomorrow. But it may be getting short-term a little bit overbought. How about that CEMI? After getting down to 852, they jumped it back to 891 today, closed at 881. Only up 3 cents, but up day on a bad down day and holding up like a rock. If that Brazil news comes out, we could see this at 10 or 12 pretty quickly. Pretty interesting. CPXX is acting great. Today, for me, it popped and broke out. Volume ran up to 9.2 million. Watching this to get above 17, 20, 40 zone. When it does that, above this area, it could just explode. Keep your eye on that one. And CSLT had a good day. After yesterday's breakaway gap and run up, it exploded for another 8.4%. And although it was up to 483, it did back up to 439. It was still 1.7 million, which is strong for that stock. And it's broken everything but, I think it has the guts to get up to 5.25 or a half short term. We'll keep an eye on it. Swing trade EDU popped out 3 days ago, pulled back, and snapped right back today from 39 to 40 and a half, closing 40.58 up 96 cents. Something to watch, and also something to keep an eye on in terms of support. I really don't want this under 38 and a half. My target, however, is going to be in the mid 40s. Now, in the ultra shorts, EDZ in particular, looking intriguing here as the down channel was taken out, lateral price resistance was. My initial target's 43. Then maybe we got a shot at 48.9. That's one of the ultra shorts I wanted to take a look at today. Strong OBV. There's a lot of them that are looking better, but I'm not going to cover them tonight. And taking a look at Cool. Now, I know this company well. I'm not sure how much of a follow-through it gets, but it had a spectacular 7.6 million share day, up 80% in one day. That held a lot of the gains, not all of it. Got up to 430, close to 361, up 160. But if we can get it up through today's high, which is 430, we can maybe get this in the 5-6 range. But it's something to be very, very careful with. Some of the oils we showed you, and I want you to keep close tabs on the weekly pullback lows on these. SRPT intrigues me. I know that we're waiting for some FDA news or approval or not, but it sure acts like with this explosive move and that beautiful bull coil on low volume with good technicals, that this one is signaling it wants to go higher, with targets at 22, 25, and maybe much higher if they get approval. TASR, finally acting well. As you know, we gave you a buy when it popped here after it broke out and pulled back, but it just kept drifting for another month, 6 weeks. It finally moved, recently having gone from 17 to 21 and change. And if you look at where resistance is, it's right here. If it pops through, we can see a quick 24. With almost 12 days to cover, it feels like that's about to happen. Folks, and that's it for tonight. A lot to be cognizant of and be careful with. HB out.